we're at that inflection point, aren't we? Time to discuss governance and really what it means in the context of the Power Platform. And I think we've kind of gone through as business users, and we now understand more about what it takes to build data models, what they actually are, what goes on around not just the primary reports, but also those secondary reports as well. And I think that's the key bit. Once you understand secondary reports, you can have that conversation about governance. Until then, not worth it. So if you're not fully sure what a secondary report is, go back and watch the videos again. Okay? I'll wait. Hi, my name's Ross, the creator and founder of Geordie Consulting and Geordie Intelligence, the YouTube channel you're watching today. What I thought we'd have a conversation about and actually go through and see some examples of is really understanding what we mean when we talk about the data governance side of Power BI. It's all too easy to get kind of bogged down with it, and it's one of those topics that's vast. Okay, it touches every aspect of the platform. It's not one that we can cover in a single video. But what I want to talk about is really the kind of steady state side of it. So we're going to touch base with the Microsoft recommendations, and we'll talk about what they mean in the real world. All right. For those of you who've kind of had those discussions with consultancy or with Microsoft representatives, you've more than likely seen this chart. If you haven't seen this chart, that's a concern. This is one that really should be shown to everyone. It's been rebranded in the last 12 months. It's gone away from being the Power BI adoption roadmap to now the Fabric adoption roadmap, which kind of tells you everything you need to know about it and about a lot of what's going on. But anyway, I'm not going to have that discussion all the way today. The key thing that you need to understand with this is this works, right? No matter what you want to say, no matter what you want to do, right? This mechanism where we go through, we understand that we need to get an executive sponsor involved as almost day one. We want to fix our data culture. We go through content management, blah, 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 delivery scope, center of excellence, mentoring, user enablement, community of practice. Okay. All these are what happen. Okay. This works. There's not, this is just a recommendation. It is just a recommendation, but it's a one that works. If you want to do something different, do something different. But what you will invariably find is when it works, you're pretty much doing this, right? There's not really I'm doing something different to it. The core bits and the bits that for us, we work most with clients on is, here we go. This bit out here. Okay. So this is the bit that you need to kind of make sure you get right. There's no about it. This has to be good. Okay? And really it needs to be done perfectly and correctly. There's some things that you go, well, hang on, what about? Okay. If you haven't got an executive sponsor, your project's going nowhere. You shouldn't be doing it. Okay. If you have not got that board member saying, we are going to support Power BI or the Power Platform being brought into our organization 100%, it's doomed to fail. Okay. If you've got different voices at that senior level saying, this isn't the way, I wish we'd gone Tableau, I wish we'd gone Click, I wish we'd gone this. Likewise, if you're going down the Tableau or Click route and someone's going, do you know what? I think Power BI would do it. Not good. The board has to be fully on board and invested with this is what is going to be done. Okay. It doesn't matter on the platform. You just need that full, this is this corporate strategy that we are going with. That's what executive sponsor means. We need that. So we need that board member who's saying, yeah, this is the way. They need to have the backing of the board and it needs to be pushed fully through. Data culture is one which is difficult. Okay. It will come in time. It's not one I want to get bogged down with. Okay. Not because I'm being lazy. It's just, if you get the others right further down, data culture falls out of it. Okay. Just kind of not, oh, wow, this is what it is. Okay. Don't try and chase it. It's one of those things. Good data culture is there because of what's downstream. even though it's kind of the most important thing. You cannot start by saying we're going to have a great data culture, because you haven't got great data to have a great data culture with. Have great data and great ingestion engines, great ways of managing data, all that stuff leads to great data culture. Yeah, it's weird it's at the top, but it is at the top because it's really important. An odd one. Likewise for content ownership and management. Okay? It would be great if we were say, right, this is who the content owner is. And the amount of projects I've gone through where this has to be done. And projects stall on content ownership and management, which is why I wouldn't fixate on it. Okay. If you need to do this, we need to pull your data through, we need to do it. Okay. That's how your traditional reporting algorithms work, don't you? It's unlikely that you've gone to the process owner and said, I'm going to report on your solution. No, you've been given the mandate by somebody. We need to report on this. You go and you harvest the data you need and you do it. Technically, you end up being the content owner, but the content owner should be the process owner. That's the thing. Okay. It's difficult to do that. Again, it's a chicken and egg issue, which is why we get to content delivery scope. What are we going to do? Okay. Center of excellence. How are we going to bring together the resources that we've got across our organization? And then you've got the mentoring and the community of practice. These are the vital steps. And as you can see next to them, with the bi-directional arrow, we have, and I've lost my mouse because I've got the icon up thing. Okay. We've got here governance. Okay. This is vital as well because it's there and it's connected to your center of excellence. That center of excellence in governance layer is where everything comes together. Get that right, the rest works. Okay. Your center of excellence they're your more technical resources. They're the ones who are going to be building the models. They will do a lot of the engineering work. They might be data engineers specifically. They might be data analysts primarily, but they will do the vast amount of the work. And then they will support user development. Okay. So like we're doing with our data set here with this, well, not data set, with this video series, business users. The goal of this was very much around saying, well, I'm going to develop myself to be, lost it, part of the community of practice and maybe upskill myself to join the center of excellence. Okay. That might be what I want to do. I'm a resource. I do lots of reporting in my team, do this, do that. Am I going to be part of the community of practice or am I going to be part of the center of excellence? And there's no reason why you can't go one way. There's also no reason why you can't go the other way as a resource in terms of, I don't want to be involved in all that. I'd rather just look after my department, my team. There's nothing wrong with any of those. Okay, so let's get rid of that again. So we'll go in, we'll have a look at this. And obviously then from there, you get a few things like in terms of user support and change management. Now we've mentioned change management in the last video, okay? But not right at the end. We mentioned change management as this is part of it. Change management is a core part, it's a core vehicle of governance. So it's one that needs to be made sure that we've got there. And you can see it's connected to almost everything from center of excellence, community practice. The core areas are connected directly to change management because we need to manage what happens. Okay. Let's have a look and see exactly what I'm kind of meaning with some of these things. Yeah. So we're back here, aren't we, in Power BI. Okay, this is our home page, Power BI. What have I got access to? Now, the vast majority of the time, people will access Power BI content. The majority of people are going to access it. We want them to access it via an app. Okay, that's our read-only layer where we can start to build this. And the idea of apps is a really good one. And it's one that I think is being very confused lately. Especially these like workspace apps that are coming through, I think are organization apps, are going to cause mass confusion because I think they alter what an app was in Power BI. And don't get me wrong, what an app was and is in Power BI is wrong. Okay, there's this fundamental about them, but I understand that, and it's actually really good but it is a bit of an to it. So let's kind of go through and see what I mean. So we've got two core apps that we as members of our community practice have got access to. And this would be the rest of my team. Everyone will have access to this. So I've got me business SLT one and the senior leadership team. Okay, we kind of went through, built the second one, if you remember. But the first one, this is one of the older ones. And the point of it was really, this is why I think we need to consider apps separately. So here we've got our Necker Parkrun stuff, where we just quickly pulled some stuff through in one of the earlier videos. Remember, Necker Parkrun. So we've got Parkrun. Then we've got yellow cab taxi data. Now, we haven't been updating this for the last year or so, but this is a different data set now. So fundamentally, that's now available, 2 data sets. Then we've got city bike again. Another different one, completely different data set, 3 data sets, and then we've got the rooftop water towers. That's 4 different areas of our business coming together into one view. And that's really where the power part of the Power Platform starts to come together, because I've now got this one view that me, as a member of the senior leadership team, I can go and look and see, right, what's happening across the board. We can put in and make sure these are more specific, more targeted. We've got the core KPIs. We've got the core stuff that people want to see there. You can see we've got these modern card visuals as well, where we've actually got stuff coming through. You know, we've shown now with the SVGs, we can put the SVGs on there so we can see proper trending. We can put whatever we want on there. And the key thing, the most important thing for people to recognize with this is that it's interactive. So if I click here, it will take me to, this is what's happening. This is the report page that relates to it. This is where it comes from. Okay, and we can go back to here. And the way these are built as well, we can build reports, secondary reports that just have visuals that are going to go on the dashboards like this. And then in this dashboard, we can have it, instead of it going back to that main report, go to a different report, which is why we then need a secondary report for almost each and every one of these. Okay, so if in this case, for the New York tax day, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so which potentially we'd have 7 secondary reports, one behind each one of these, because I click on how many journeys we have this year. I want to know, what does that break down as? Potentially, is it a year over year or something else? What's the split that I need? Likewise, journeys, we want something similar, but talking about journey information. This is something that we can do and build in. And it's very easy for me to explore. And because I can explore, it means when I come back and I look at that figure, I go, I can be comfortable with that figure. I might go down there and say, well, I want it to be more like this, where we've got a historic or some other information on it. But that's easy. And this is why the initial traditional mindset that people have when I'm going to build Power BI report content, Power BI desktop, I'm going to bring all my data together into the single model, put it all in, and then suddenly come out with this 20, 30 page report all in one file. Brilliant. Look, hit refresh. There it is. I've made a dashboard on the front page. So it does everything. And then we need to change something. And it becomes, everything's locked to that whole 30 page report. It's really awkward and difficult to say, well, I want to change this section of it because it's all in one report. And this comes back to the issues that you have with a DevOps mindset, or to be frank, any kind of change managed mindset, which is object centric. So you change an object. What's the object that we're protecting with change management? Here is this huge report that's got all the model and all 30 pages of everything that people would want. What's the object? The core object should be, it's the object, it's the model. That's what we want to protect. Should we care about the content? Well, of course we should, because that's what people see. If we go down the secondary report route, we have a file that has the model that we can lock, and we can say this has this level of rigor around the governance for it. We can then have, these are the secondary reports. We say, as our advice to a lot of clients is, consider your secondary reports as disposable. Okay, they are disposable things people are going to use. They are like consumable items. Okay, they will come through, they'll be of use for a period, and then they will be retired. It is true. You could turn around and say, well, we want to change manage them if they're going to go into an app. But if it's one that's just going to be built and used by a specific team, doesn't need to be, we can have that discussion. But we can all agree, a file that just contains visuals, in terms of I've dragged and dropped these visuals to make the pretty pictures that my team needs, and I'm not belittling the data value of that, is going to be significantly different in business value compared to this is the file that contains a semantic model that services those 100 plus reports that are used across the business. We can all agree that, can't we? There's a definite difference. One is this is core, really important to the business. And this is, it's critical, it's important, but it's not the same. Okay? So this is why we say, let's separate things out, let's do things differently. When we look at a Power BI dashboard like this, which is, you don't see these are only available in the service. So it's one that people go, oh, I didn't really realize that. Because it's a case of saying, right, I can click here and it will take me to the report page. It becomes very different from okay, I'm going to look at this and say, we need to put together. You're pulling together multiple data sets into a single cohesive view that allows you to then pull apart and go and explore the specifics that you need today to do your job. And this is why, for me, apps work best when they are like this. We pull together based on the function of the audience. So my function as the audience is, we are the senior leadership team. We need to have that eyes on the whole business. Okay? You could turn around and say, oh, well, yeah, but that's just the SLT. What about if I'm just in terms of I'm the department lead for Necker Parkrun? I don't need to see the rest. Well, that's true, I don't. But I do need that to be consistent with what they see. Yeah, we would not want me to be looking at a different data model and have fundamentally two semantic models looking at Necker Parkrun data. So we need to pull those together, which then means we've got one location where the data needs to be, and my visuals are going to be based in a departmental visual area that I will go to. The app will go there. I can even be given access to it because if you remember, last week we said, well, I've got access to do this thing, which allowed me to build and put in the user-defined function that brought through the SVGs, do all that stuff. I can't do that because I've got access to the model, but I can have access to a saved copy of the model that's available in my SharePoint site that's linked and associated with my Fabric site, with the app workspace, which is also then using our team site, which we've got access to it, which then means we've got a file repository for it. Okay. So we can start to piece everything together. That makes it really easy for me to go, right, I'm going to do this. I want to do that. And then say, I'm going to now log a change, go back to our change management step, because this function that we've written is improved this, and this is what it gives us. We can then say, right, we need to work out how do we test that this works with the other secondary reports, which is why we need secondary report libraries for the apps that we've got, because they're our business critical ones. But we know if there's a fundamental shift, it's not too difficult to remap. It looks worse than it always is, isn't it? Because we shouldn't be deleting functionality, we'll be adding functionality. So it might be our measure name's changed, our relationship structure is updated, but we can generally go through and do it. And we can certainly document and package that as part of the change so that we then know, okay, the change is coming through on whatever date. If you need assistance to remap your reports, let us know. We need to make sure we've got the resources available. These are all different discussions, aren't they, too? We're just going to push ahead and do it. But it allows you to get to that. We've got a structure for doing it. In my experience with practical guidance, we find semantic model changes initially are quite significant and very rapid, but very quickly, so certainly within a quarter, within half a year, they're dropping back to being quarterly and then half yearly and then annually even, in terms of we're actually going to make these updates to the semantic model, because it gets to the point where we've got really good stability in it. Yes, we want to make changes to it, but we do it in a much more controlled and structured manner, using a more traditional IT style workflow of we're going to go through, do this, test it. What data flows are we going to do? What secondary reports we're going to test it with? Other data flow updates that need to go through, or data pipeline updates that need to come through. All those elements can be tested. Likewise, by separating out the data flows or your data ingestion cycles into data flows, we can test those separately because we've got, this is our governed area. We can now update this. This works. we're going to map from this data flow to that data flow, from this data flow to this Azure SQL or data lakehouse or whatever it is we've now moved it to. But we can do that as a much more structured and controlled way of working. That's what we need to get to. That's the mindset shift that you need to be getting to. And that's why secondary reports and the understanding of, right, I get what these are, is the key. Because if you remember, we've got our template file that we just go double click, it creates a template. And that template is already connected to the semantic model. It's got already visuals doing lots of stuff. It's got the glossary in it, doesn't it? So we've got the idea where we can look at the data pipelines, not data pipelines, sorry, in terms of what measures are there, what's this, what's that. We can click through, we can see everything's there. The data dictionary elements are there. It's up to the audience or the person building it, to say, well, I want to expose this, make it visible to the audience. I can just leave it hidden. But I've got enough information at my fingertips as I'm developing it to go and read what goes on with this. And I might read it and go, oh, that's not right. I would try a different way. And I can try it as a secondary measure. If it works, if it's better, I can feed it back. Okay? That's one of those things. This is really important that we understand what's actually happening across the board with it. So back here, okay, way back here, if we have a look at this, because this is one of those things we need to really make sense of. I've got all these are written, okay? A lot of these are related to Sparkline, so 3 of these are related to Sparkline, okay? But we've got some other ones in here, in terms of video demo, where we've got just things in here, runners per volunteer. Potentially, are these measures that we're going to be of interest across the whole, or across everything? Okay, and if I went, oh wow, that visual that uses this is amazing. Okay, we need this more. We need to have this more. And honestly, it's used here. It's this one. Okay, that's the only place that we use it. Is it one that's necessarily going to be this is of value? I don't think it is. Okay, and this is the cool bit, the but. If I'm looking and seeing, well, I've got a measure here written, and it is of value to other areas of business. And I go, oh, that chart's amazing. That's really good. And I look at it and go, oh, okay, where's that? And I go, oh, it's in secondary. I know now, well, it's not going to exist in the main model. Okay? If I'd written it and put it in participation with all the rest were, I might be then go back to the others and go, oh, I need to check this. Okay, so this is where governance and discipline come through. It's being disciplined enough to create new measure content and put it only in secondary folders where we do it. And we've got things, as we say, we've got the SVGs in here that we've got, and we went through and we wrote the way we could put it together. And effectively, we just hand this through as a function, as opposed to it being something that we're going to have to manually update and copy and paste each time. The value of the functions is huge, okay? Because this is a pain in the neck. And if I had to try to explain to people, this is what you need to do, it's going to not work. Whereas if I say, right, you put in measure, you put in the color, like a lower color and a higher color, off you go. Okay, so comma, measure, comma, color, comma. Okay, people can do that, can't they? Especially once they're I'm a developer myself, I know what I'm doing. That's easier than saying, right, you need to copy this, go through, and then if you remember, update here, 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 here. Okay, if I told you all that, you'd miss bits. That's not me saying you're terrible. It's just you would miss bits and stuff. It's not a problem. Okay? So we know UDFs are definitely a sense. And this is why we say have that secondary area so you can see at any given time, all right, these are the measures that are there that we need to potentially do more about and understand. And not having them visible and front and center just makes it more difficult for you 6 months down the line when you come back and look at a report, because it's never going to be, I've just built this report, everyone loves it. It'll be 6 months later, someone will say, oh, you had that chart, didn't you, in that report that you built? Was it the annual one? Yeah. And then they'll go through and go, that one there. wait, what measures that? And we'll go through and go, oh, runners per volunteer. All right. Where's that? What's that? Oh, it's here. And we'd look and we go, well, is this really what we want? Should it be registered finishers or should it be all finishers, for example? It's, it's one where potentially we say, yeah, it should be all finishers, shouldn't it? I think registered finishers is probably where we were looking at, well, we know these have definitely finished for it, and we were trying to inflate the number a bit potentially. It's just, or deflate the number, but we can get to that point, we can understand, right, this is what we want to do with it. The purpose of it is to show, well, how many runners do we have per volunteer, which is kind of okay, but is it adding value? If I'm honest, I'm not sure what value add it actually serves. It was interesting. I liked seeing it, but I don't know what it's bringing to the table. That's the bit I think that I'm kind of struggling with. It's not bringing it to the table. Okay. So we've got that, yeah. And obviously in the main model here, we've got all the summaries coming through. And it is brilliant, isn't it, that we're actually now past the 2 million global number. But what we've got is in this here, we can start to see we've pulled things through. And this master file, what you can see here, and this is part of the governance that we've got, is all these are hidden. Okay, and over the years, we went from this was the file that everything was used for Jesm and Dean initially. And then we've evolved, we've made changes to, we've updated pages, we've done things. Okay, this is what happened. And if you had all this as one file that we were going to manage, I would be doing a huge amount of work just in one file. And I'd have a queue of people saying, well, I need to make this change. I need to make this change. I need to make that change. Do it. So that's why we separate things out. I leave these in more because it's useful to be able to test and say, right, okay, event details, this is what the events used to be like. I can test these. And we know, right here, this doesn't work anymore. And we could choose to go in and see, right, why does this not work? And we can see what the issue is. Okay, current streaks is one that I really do want to fix at some point. I feel it's as good as it's going to get now in my mind, but it still isn't one that I think is as good as it can be. I feel that there is better work that can be done with it. It is one I do want to find the time to have a look at properly and try and unpack and see if we can improve the speed of it. The reason why it's slow is just because obviously you're going through iteratively through each finisher to work out what's their current streak, and then work out who's got them, what's the maximum current streak for it. So there's no shortcuts to it. It's a long-winded way of doing it. But I feel there's got to be a better way of doing it, and that's the bit I'm struggling with. I think as well, part of it is we should be looking at I might tweak the way the participants is built. So in terms of the participant by event, maybe have what's their current streak, see if we can do that. Is that the way to go? So I'll have a look at doing some things like that, because if we front load it, we can return that front loaded value straight away rather than having to go and calculate it. But the problem is going to be, well, people are going to explore quite quickly and easily, so they're going to go past your front loading. So it's, great, minor value add, not a huge improvement. The other thing I was thinking of course is, what about your overall streak in the Northeast? So if you go and do like Townmore, Jesmond, Dean, Leazes Park, Deptford Dean, week by week by week, that's four consistent. But it's not going to count on any streak measures. It's going to be one at each one. So is there a way that I can think of to put that in where we're actually looking at the event weeks to say, right, this is when it can be. Did you do one here? What was the last one that you didn't do? To go, right, here we go. So we're kind of, these are things we need to work out. But okay. You can see the governance layer is there because the questions start to naturally fall out. So we're already discussing this would be great to look at. Oh, what about this is slow? We can see model stuff is coming through, measure stuff is coming through, and they're separate to the second report. So I could do the new report that focuses on what about the runners who have who've chosen to hide their gender. How do we finish them? How do we process those effects? Questions like that we could, do we need to put a second report in for those? It's a small number. It is a small number we've got, but it's a number all the same. Likewise, we could have, we could do stuff. Is there something we want to do to bring in or with the juniors? And there is something, we do need to do something better with the junior data. Because I'd like to bring in the junior park runs, but I think we need to tweak how we handle juniors as a whole. And so that's something that we'll do. And it's more I've been holding that change back pending the update from park run. But yeah, you can see everything starts to come together once you start to say, right, let's separate everything out, have our mindset. How do we get the data? What's our ingestion protocols versus what's our modeling protocol versus what's our presentation protocols? And then how do we manage each sector? Yeah, because if we're saying we're going to update the pipeline, and only once the pipeline is updated and we're happy with it, can we then say we're going to now put this into the master model? Because it's pointless to say, well, we're going to tweak this and do them both together, and then we've got to update here because then we're going to potentially break downstream reports. Do it in a controlled fashion. Yes, it will take you longer because it's a controlled, measured fashion. Your issues as a result of it will be less because if you're planning, this is what's going to change here, these are going to be changed, we can notify you, these are the changes that are coming. If you think there's an issue going to be downstream, let us know. Likewise, we go through and we make changes to the main model in terms of adding new measures. These are the new measures that are coming. We're changing the way we're calculating this measure. We might take the step of saying, this is fundamental shift. We are not going to just hard code the change for you. Or we might turn and say, well, the way we calculate registered finishers is going to change. It's going to change. This has been approved at a board level. This is how it's going to change. And that will happen, All right, welcome to 2026. Governance hits you smack in the face, doesn't it? This is a massive topic, okay? 2026, I think we're going to see an awful lot more clients moving their content into Fabric. So the official Fabric side at an enterprise level has happened now. So kind of premium capacity is being stopped. It's already been stopped, sorry. So we're just waiting on enterprise agreements coming through and rolling through for those clients to now be on Fabric. We've got, obviously, from a smaller business perspective, we're in a really awkward space. Okay, Fabric is still not ready for prime time. I'm sorry, Microsoft, it's not. There's a lot of bits which are really good, and then things go wrong, and it's really bad, and you can't really go, okay, well, we need to get adequate controls in place for Fabric to be considered ready for prime time. So we need to have good, proper reporting on what's the costs of Fabric going to be to me as a business. Because it's not a case like it is with Power BI. We just buy this. We've got this license, we've got this. It's cost neutral up to that point. Okay. The point of Fabric is, well, it isn't cost neutral. You've used up your capacity, you've used up all your space. Oh, well, here's some extra billing. Or, oh, well, don't worry, we'll just stop you being able to work. That's a really difficult one to go back and discuss with the boardroom. Okay, so we need those through really ASAP. Okay, cost optimization strategies for Fabric are really difficult to do even now still because Fabric keeps changing. So we might say, oh, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do it in that way. And then, we've changed Fabric. And, okay. So okay. So we need to work something out. I think the rapid pace of development that we had with Power BI worked with Power BI because we had the stability of the Azure estate on the other side. And I think that was a great measure and way of kind of measuring your pace and managing your pace and your expectations. We couldn't say, oh, we're going to go this because, well, we're waiting on it. This doesn't do that. Okay, whereas now it seems with Fabric, well, it doesn't do it this week. Next week it does. And that makes it really difficult to have those conversations. And I mean, I remember I had conversations with Microsoft execs, not Microsoft, with our Microsoft architecture team. Say, oh, what about it? And then almost next week, a feature will be released, which were Microsoft watching me doing, or were they listening to that conversation? And of course they weren't. I'm sure these features were already well in the development, already in the GA. The plan was already in place. These were coming into GA next week. And it's just, I happen to be getting to that point with the client that we're curtailed by. It'd be really useful if, and suddenly it kind of comes out as, all right, great, this does it. I'm not seeing that with Fabric at the moment. I think it's the thing. I'm not seeing people saying we're contained, we're constrained by what the platform does. What instead I'm seeing is platform does everything. What do I need to do today to get what I need? And that answer changes. And when that changes, it's not just it's easy, we just flick a switch and change over. There's potentially huge amounts of work to switch over. And is that switch over the right way to go or not? It's difficult. And then we've got the uncertainty of what's going on with Power BI as a platform. Is Power BI being killed off? And Microsoft have gone to great lengths. Say, we're not killing off Power BI. We're not killing off Power BI. And yet, in some ways, they are. So what do I mean? If you look, Dataflow Gen 1, which is a cornerstone, a massive part of what we recommend to clients to use with Power BI. Okay? Dataflow Gen 1, read the documentation. Trying to get rid of it. Okay? But Dataflow Gen 2 is Fabric. So Power BI being replaced by Fabric with that. I can't certainly turn around to the client and say, all right, we need to get some Fabric capacity just so you can bring data in a controlled way. So what's the controlled way of bringing data in? So the other option that was available, was due to come through, was data marts in Power BI. But data marts were killed off last year. So in theory, we're getting to the point where Power BI doesn't have an intrinsic data layer that it needs to help a small, medium-sized enterprise manage their data. And if we get to the end of 2026 and that's not rectified, that's going to make it really difficult for a smaller client to come through and say, right, Power BI is potentially the way that we could look at doing stuff. Because if you put everything in, this is what we've shown with this video, if you have everything in that master Power BI desktop file, it restricts so much of what your business is going to ever do with Power BI. Okay? From Microsoft's standpoint, they're not going to progress. If you bring a client through and they say, right, this is what we can do. Brilliant, excellent, day one, fantastic. And they go, oh, do you know what? I really wish I could do. Oh, okay, well, we need to bring in this. Oh, we need to bring in that. Okay, yeah, we need to get you that Fabric subscription. There's a reason, there's a business case for it. Okay? But the discussion that goes through right now in the golf club, in wherever it is that these conversations are happening, and this is probably meant much more at Microsoft than the rest of you guys, is I need an analytics suite. I don't want to spend a lot of money. And they go, oh, okay, well, like Tableau, which we use, is this, but it's a bit expensive. They go, oh, but Click, oh, that's okay. Oh, but everyone sees like Microsoft's got this Power Platform. We keep getting all this stuff. Oh, okay. How much is that? So, oh, well, it's £14 a month per user. Oh, excellent. Okay. I've got 10 people I need to get into using Power BI. Or, oh, can I get with one or two? And then the rest can just get the insights from them. They can send out the stuff. Can't be easy. No problem. So if they come to me and say, oh, like £30 a month is what we're going to spend on Power BI, and you're going, sure. Okay. No problem. We can do it. And there's people who've done it. As I say, I know, in my history, I was one of the jokes when we asked for 10 licenses for Power BI, was 20 actually for Power BI initially, was, we just buy Ross a whiz-bang laptop every year and he can then just create all the stuff and email out all the reports we need. Don't need Power BI. Admittedly, it was said by one of the people who wanted to bring Power BI in, but the sentiment is true. If this is the costing analysis, even if we went down the route, so like 20, okay, let's use 20 as our yardstick for that. If I say, oh, no, well, you need to bring Fabric in, okay, so 20 times 15, 300, okay, so £300 a month. Brilliant. We need an F2 subscription as well on that. So that's like almost double just to get an F2 on. And I need an F2 because I want to use data flows. But that might be an F4, which is even more. How am I having that discussion at the boardroom level? What's the value out of this fabric you're bringing in? I don't understand what that is. I wanted Power BI. I don't know. I'm really concerned about the future of Power BI because I think that whole we're bringing this into our business side has fallen by the wayside. And it's now just, well, we want this big enterprise project. We're going to bring in lots of people, lots of data, lots of this, which Microsoft have shown time and again doesn't actually work. They've shown us time and again. That's what the whole adoption framework is about. It does not work to just throw money at a Power BI implementation or at a data project and it work, because the same thing will happen that's been happening for the last 30 years of data projects if you do that. And what's that? I can tell you now, and then we'll finish for the day. Okay? Not even the consultant will not even be out the door. Their hand won't even be on the door handle to leave your office before someone's extracting data and putting it into Excel to build insights based on your data model that you've put in has missed a business function. You cannot invest historic mechanisms and say, right, this is how it's going to go. It doesn't work. That's the point of Power BI, is it allowed us, by having that community of practice, by having that center of excellence, to bring the business on board. There's even the section 4 or 5, bring the business on board, business alignment. You can't go, here's our project team, going to bring all your data together, do it all, and then, ta-da, look what we've built for you. And they'll go, oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, and that's what's happened for the last 30 years. The point 10 years ago that Microsoft made of bringing out Power BI was, this is the problem that we are trying to solve. We want you as a business development team to be able to not just produce your Excel spreadsheets, but produce meaningful insights using an enterprise-grade platform that then allows us to take your learnings and distill them down into a governance layer to protect them, so that we don't have the situation, oh, here's this great Excel spreadsheet. It was designed by Kyle, the intern we had 15 years ago. No one knows how it works, but the board really like it. Yeah. I hope that helps, and I hope you're not too scared. For now, though, stay safe. Take care. Ta-da.